Hi, Miss Cosky.
Hi. We would appreciate it if everyone could at least mute their screens until it's time for questions. That would be great. Thank you. I'm Mrs. Cosky. I'll give everybody 4 minutes to do it. Okay? 1 second.
Okay.
What's this
They can hear
happening?
you now. It turns volume up. They can hear you.
Come here, Leah. Come here. They're going to be right here.
Okay, thanks for coming to today's orientation. Please bear with us. This is our first virtual orientation. We're going to try the best that we can today. Thank you again so much for coming. The first person that's going to address you this morning will be our principal, Mrs. Aphrodite Galitz.
Good morning and welcome to kindergarten orientation at Economy Elementary. My name is Aphrodite Galitzis and I am the principal here at Economy. We're happy that you are part of our learning community. Our 3 kindergarten teachers, Mrs. Cosky, Mrs. Kennedy, Mrs. Thomas, and our school nurse, Mrs. Meter, are excited to start the school year with your children. At this time, I will turn the orientation over to them. Thank you and welcome again.
Okay, we have a PowerPoint presentation to share with you. It's also will be on the district website, and it will also be available, we think, on YouTube later today. You will be able to see the entire orientation again if need be. We are going to ask that you save all questions for all of us to the very end of our presentation. So the kindergarten teachers will be speaking, Mrs. Meter will be speaking, our school nurse, and Mrs. Haas, our social worker, will be speaking concerning attendance. All right, so here we go. We're going to try to do this effectively. Wish me luck. I'm going to share my screen with you. So give me 1 second. Of course, it's not showing what I want to share. All right, give me 1 second.
We are unable to see the teacher's screen.
Thank you. Give me 1 second, please. We're having some technical difficulty. I apologize. We're going to try immediately to fix it. And also, could you please undo your video? Because then that way we'll be able to see the whole PowerPoint more easily. Thanks. Okay, thank you for your patience. So sorry. Please welcome to Economy Elementary's kindergarten orientation. You can click, thank you. Okay, I am Mrs. Jackie Cosky. My email address is jcosky@ambridge.k12.pa.us and my extension is 6215. I'm so excited to have your child this school year.
Hi, I am Tammy Kennedy, and my email address is tkennedy@ambridge.k12.pa.us, and my extension is 6222.
Hi, I'm Christina Thomas. My email is cthomas@ambridge.k12.pa.us. And as you can see, my extension 6272. And please know that we're very excited to be able to see the kids this year, even if it's in a limited capacity, even if it's virtually, and that we will do everything we can to make sure that they have a good school year.
Okay, welcome to Economy Elementary. Thank you for coming to hear about our kindergarten program. Again, if you have any questions, please hold off to the end of our presentation and then we will address them at that time. We do understand there's lots of questions this year. We have lots of questions too. We'll work through everything together. So super important information. All items sent to school need to be labeled with your child's first and last name. Please send a mask and or face shield with your child daily. If you are worried about them possibly losing masks or face shields, we will have extra available at school. You might want to even put an extra mask in their book bag just in case something happens on the bus. But again, we will have things available for you here in the building. Your child is to bring a backpack or book bag and a packed lunch if needed daily. We're going to put everything they need every day, which we'll address shortly, in a big gallon Ziploc bag. And inside, that bag will come to and from school along with the iPad. Nothing really can be left here at school, and we'll address that in a future slide. But we're thinking that the best way right now is to have all their supplies in a big gallon Ziploc bag with their name on it. and making sure you have the iPad. And then please make sure that, well, I'm sorry, I can't read that. The last slide, it's covered.
It's the folder, return your
Oh,
folder.
thank you. Please make sure your child's folder is in the book bag. That's going to be, if there's any paper communication, that's how it'll come to and from school. Please make sure you discuss what's for lunch with your child if they're not bringing a packed lunch from home. The district has free breakfast and free lunch for all children. So sometimes when we'll ask, oh, would you like to have this? And they go, oh, we didn't know. We don't like that. So if you can try to remember to go over what is for lunch, that'd be greatly appreciated. There will not be water fountains available for the students. So we're asking that daily you send in a clear filled water bottle with your child's name on it. So it can be a reusable water bottle. It can be a water bottle that is disposable, whatever easiest for you. But we're also asking that if you're packing a lunch, that you send in a different drink from that water bottle, because they get thirsty, especially like after gym or if we have a little bit of free time. So we don't want them to drink everything in the morning and not have anything for after lunch. So 2 drinks probably would work the best. We have a late lunch. Our lunch isn't until 12:30. So we have a small snack in the morning to kind of break up the morning and to make sure tummies aren't grumbling the rest of the morning so we're able to learn. So we asked for you to send in a small snack daily with your child. We would appreciate if all snacks were peanut and nut free. Also, it's a light snack because sometimes we eat and work. So don't pack a lunch box with a whole bunch of snacks. Just, one snack that they like and that they can snack on while we get some schoolwork done. When your child is absent, please send in a written excuse within 3 school days. And Mrs. Haas will refer to that later in the presentation. We are going to be using the platform Seesaw, and we will give you information sometime next week. And it will provide a weekly update of activities, important information about school, and student birthdays. We are not able to celebrate student birthdays with snacks, but we will make sure your child has a special day here at school. If your student has a summer birthday, it'll either be celebrated in September when we come back, or in late May and June to wrap up the school year. Oh, I can't read the last one again. I'm sorry, Lauren, can you help me?
Yep, homework.
Okay, and we will be having homework. Things are going to work a little bit differently this year with the virtual learning. So we will address that too next week in an email. We are asking for help this year. We need to be a partner in your child's learning. We're asking that you please send your child's teacher an email with the email address you want us to use. And next week, the kindergarten team will send out an email together and with the information you need about Seesaw, scheduling, and special classes, everything you'll need to know for the first week of school. All right, on to Mrs. Kennedy. Thanks for your attention.
Hi, everybody. So I'm going to start off by talking about the Rhodes Bus Company. Here is the number, should you need it. It is 724-266-4322. And underneath that, it says information from our principal. Please make sure to click on that link. It is very important. It has a lot of information that needs filled out, like the emergency card, so we can have it on hand, and other information that you are definitely going to want to read. So please make sure that you click on that link and you get all the information from our principal, Mrs. Galitzis. Okay, so the next slide says, what will my child need for the school year? And this is typically what they're going to need through the entire school year. So we're letting you know in advance typically what all we use most of the time, because things are on sale at the beginning of the school year. So we wanted to give you the option of getting it all now, or how you would like to get it. But typically you are going to need one zipper pencil pouch. And we usually say the boxed plastic ones. However, this year we're thinking between bringing them back and forth every single day and it going back and forth in the backpacks, that the zipper pouches are going to last you longer and they'll work out better. 8 boxes of crayons. We say you can just get the basic colors only. Typically, they'll go through about 36 of the number 2 pencils. If you can, when you send some of the pencils into the pencil pouch, please make sure to sharpen the pencils before you send them into school that day. 2 large pink erasers. We usually use about 16 large glue sticks. It's recommended the Elmer's brand, the Target brand, and the other brands tend to fall out and yeah, they don't paste very well. 8 Expo dry erase markers. We're asking for black only. You will need about 4 yellow or orange highlighters, 1 pair of safety scissors, 2 4-ounce containers of Play-Doh. This is because we're trying to give your child some time, some downtime, and some things that we came up with this year was to have every child have their own individual Play-Doh to give them some downtime and just be able to play with their own Play-Doh, and so nobody is touching anybody else's things. You will need 1 pair of headphones. Again, we're asking for paintbrushes this year. When we're talking about the paintbrushes, we're asking for 8 disposable foam ones. We have found those at the dollar store, and then I also saw them yesterday at Target. You can get 8 of them for $2 there. But we're saying the paintbrushes because we do like to do a lot of art projects with the students, and we don't want to be sharing paintbrushes or anything. So we will only use a paintbrush on your child, and then we'll throw it away. This way nobody, again, is touching anybody else's things. 1 roll of paper towels, 2 rectangular boxes of tissues. And so we brought one. This is the size that we're recommending because this will fit inside your child's desk. So the smaller tissue boxes, everybody then can keep their own tissue boxes right inside the desk. And again, then everybody is keeping their distance from each other. 1 pack of brown paper bags, and that is for us to make puppets with that we like to do on a weekly basis. And I do see the 1 pump of hand soap. We are going to make sure that we practice with your child, especially before snack and before lunch, that they are washing their hands. So we will be using, of course, the sink, that they'll be doing that. But also if you could bring just a small travel size of hand sanitizer, that we will also keep inside their own desk, and they can use their own hand sanitizer. And again, nobody will be touching anybody else's things. And so out of all of those things, what are the things that you're going to need to bring on the first day of school? So on the first day of school, please have the following supplies from the list in a Ziploc gallon baggie. So you will need the zip pencil pouch, and then inside the pencil pouch, you're going to need 1 box of the regular crayons, the 8 crayons, and then 2 sharpened pencils, 1 large pink eraser, 2 glue sticks, 1 dry erase marker, 1 disposable foam paintbrush, 1 pair of scissors, 1 highlighter, 1 travel size hand sanitizer, which again, we will keep inside their desk, along with the Kleenexes. And then in the gallon bag, please put your iPad, your headphones, and then the container of Play-Doh. And once they get here on the first day, we will take the Play-Doh out of the Ziploc bag and we will keep that inside their desk as well. So all of this will be coming back and forth. Everything that's inside the patch and inside the Ziploc bag, your headphones, the iPad, and all of the supplies that they will need, the pencils, that sort of thing, the crayons, we will be sending that back and forth to school daily. And again, anybody that has questions at the end of the presentation, we'll be happy to try and answer everything as best as we can. So I know everybody wants to know what's going to be happening in kindergarten. This is basically what your child's day is going to look like. So we always start off the morning with circle time, which is when we go over calendar and we do our ABCs and we start identifying letters and we talk about the days of the week and we start counting numbers. That is what we consider circle time. And then we also read stories to them. And then we take over and we start language arts. And then they will be learning math. We do journal writing every day. And we will have the snack that we talked about. We usually take about a 10 to 15 minute break, let them have snack, use the restroom. Everybody does have a bathroom right inside the classroom. So that's a nice thing. And then we have lunch beginning at 12:30, and it's a half an hour. So 12:30 to 1 o'clock is our lunch. And then we have our special classes. So that would be your art, computers, music, gym, STEAM, library. And then we try to end the day with some science, social studies, and Spanish, and we do any enrichment at the very end of the day. And again, we are going to try to let them have some form of playtime. Of course, we're not going to be able to go out on the playground, but that's what we use the Play-Doh for. We're trying to get some Legos that would just be just for them at their seats. And we're coming up with some creative different things that we can still do so that they are still having some fun towards the end of the day and getting some sort of playtime in each day that they're here. So again, here's the special classes. There is music, art, gym, STEAM, computers, and library. Each, we will be sending out, we'll be sending out a schedule for each class so that you will know exactly what time and what day your child has each of these specials. Okay, and so that is all for me right now. I'm going to take this and have Mrs. Thomas talk about the technology part of it.
Okay, so for technology, all classrooms are equipped with the interactive whiteboards, document cameras, and of course, as you know, iPads to give the children an opportunity to do what they need to do during the day. The apps we are using are Seesaw, which is new for the primary grades this year, and McGraw-Hill, which is part of our reading and math curriculum. So when you go into Seesaw, you will be able to access the McGraw-Hill link that will give you an opportunity to do the work with your child. We have practice pages, different things that they may want to see again, that they'll see if they're at home, they'll see us do here. So it's very nice to have access to that during the course of the week. We will be making a list of virtual learning expectations and etiquette that we'll email to you for the best overall learning experience. I know that it's new for all of us to have to do virtual learning the way we'll be doing it from here on out. And we noticed that when we were doing some of the virtual learning at the end of the school year last year, sometimes we forget that when a child is online, anyone else that's in the room can also be heard. So there's some things that we just want to bring to your attention. So we'll be sending a list out to that to just kind of help us all be on the same page. Okay, so McGraw-Hill is what we use for both reading and math. And it's aligned with the Common Core, and it's very interactive. It's nice because it keeps the kids' attention, keeps them involved. And so the reading curriculum is the Wonders curriculum, and the math is My Math. And when you go into Seesaw and you click and are able to get into the McGraw-Hill, you will see the material for both the reading and the math. There are lots of different things that the children will learn during the course of the year. In the reading curriculum, the children will be doing various sight words. We do phonics, blending, segmenting of words. It is always amazing to me, for even as many years as I've been teaching, when it comes to kindergarten, you see so much growth from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. And I say this every year during orientation, and usually by the end of the year, I have parents say, wow, you know, it is so exciting to see your child come to school to start the year. And by the end of the year, you know, they're reading sentences, writing sentences, adding, subtracting. I mean, it's a lot of growth, and it's really wonderful to see. As for science and social studies, we use the Scholastic News and the Science Spin, which when I was in school, they were weekly readers. And it's still the same idea. It's nice because they also have an interactive feature that we use with them online for them to see videos about whatever it is that whatever the topic is for that particular week. I can't see the bottom of the screen either.
Sorry, it says students are exposed and are engaged in new concepts.
Okay, and it's nice because you know, with science and social studies, it's not as deep of a curriculum as you have with the upper grades, because for kindergarten, we're trying to lay the foundation for reading and math. And it just really gives a lot of nice topics and different curriculum materials that the kids at least are getting exposed to, that will lay down that foundation for them as they go on to future grades. Okay, kindergarten learning expectations. You know, whether they're with us or they're at home watching virtually, we just want to make sure that the children obviously know first, middle, last name. By the end of the year, they need to be able to write their first and last name, knowing that the first letter is uppercase and the rest of the letters are lowercase. We have a lot of children come to us at the beginning of the year that want to write all of their name all in uppercase. So we work on when we use uppercase letters and when we use lowercase letters. Being able to know their birthday, address, phone number. Following school rules and directions. And I know that this is going to have a slightly different twist to it this year, because not only will they have to understand following school rules and directions while here with us, but also the school rules and directions that apply to learning from home. And I know that it can be very tempting while they're learning from home to want to run into the kitchen and get a sandwich, or, you know, spinning around on a chair, you know, I mean, they're 5 years old. It's things that you would expect. But there are rules to be followed, and there will be scheduled times for different things. So we ask that when they are learning from home, try to keep it more as of a learning atmosphere, so that they understand that when it's school time, and that's their main focus. And also caring for their own belongings and respecting others' belongings. There's going to be a lot of responsibility for them included in being able to bring things back and forth from school to home, more than past years. So we will do our best, especially in the beginning, to prompt them, remind them, make sure you have your iPads, make sure you have your headphones, everything you need to take home, reminding, you know, homework, things like that. But our goal is to have them become a little more independent about knowing what it is that they need as the year goes on. Okay, we will be doing questions, but we're going to push that back because we have a few other people that we'd like to have speak first. Couple things that I do want to throw out for you, though, before we move on. When it comes to recess, if your child would like to bring a toy that they will only be playing with, that is permitted. It needs to be something that fits in the backpack, preferably not something that is very expensive or breakable, but just something that they can play with. Unfortunately, themselves, no one else will be playing with it. Also, if you missed iPad pickup, there will be a new schedule posted. So keep an eye for that. And I look for the week of August 24th to pick up for the new date for pickup for iPads. And we had said earlier about putting the iPads and the headphones and the Play-Doh in the gallon Ziploc bag. If you are unable to fit the iPad in the gallon bag, because I've been informed that the cases on the iPads are a little bit bigger, then just send the iPad with your child separate and just put everything else, the headphones and the Play-Doh and that in the bag. So as long as we're able to get everything that we need sent to us, however you need to work it out, we understand. So now I'm going to turn the screen over to Mrs. Kathy Meter, our wonderful school nurse.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Economy Elementary. Okay, where did I go? I'm gone.
You're here.
Okay,
Yeah, you're
okay, but my presentation's gone, Lauren. Sorry, guys.
What up, Star? Is there another PowerPoint?
It's a PowerPoint, yes.
Oh,
She sent it to you, Lauren.
I got it.
Okay, bear with us. We're all learning.
Good. All right. There you go.
Okay, you can go on to the
Hey, I'm
next.
just a parent.
You can click it on, Lauren. Okay. Yes, my name's Mrs. Meter, and I'm the school nurse here. I am in the building from when the time the kids get here, from roughly 8 a.m. to about 3:30. My telephone number is the same as the school, but my extension 6303, and my email address is kmeter@ambridge.k12.pa.us. I can be reached, and if I'm not here, just leave me a message. I will definitely call you back. All right. Whenever your child does arrive at school, this emergency card is what we send home and fill out with all the children. This is kind of like my lifeline to you. This will have all their contact information. You'll see a place on it if they are on any medications, if they have any allergies. This year, this is going to be it's important every year, but this year even more so, because if your child comes to school and their temperature is above 99.5 and I cannot let them into school, I need to, have a number to be able to reach you. So please, make sure you keep your numbers up to date. If you have a neighbor, a relative, somebody you can put under the emergency contact, that's great. I do ask, in years past, people have put grandma, who might live clear up in Tionesta, as one of their emergency contacts. So I do ask that you have someone who can be here very quickly, and also if you would like, a lot of people, they do not even have home phones. They just have cell phones. But if you'd like me to call your work number first, mark that with a 1, your cell phone, whatever. And like I said, this year it's going to be very, very important because, Other years we could be a little more patient, but this year, if your children show any signs of being ill, you're going to be asked to come get them, or someone's going to be asked to come get them. So I believe you'll just usually get these at orientation, but you will get these the first day of school. And at the bottom, there's even a place to put your email. So please fill it out. And if throughout the school year, anything changes, your phone number, any of your emergency contacts, your work, please contact. You don't necessarily need to call me. You could call the main office and, we will change it. Okay, next. Okay, I am allowed to give medicine here at school. Usually in kindergarten, there's not a lot, but if your child does have a prescription medicine, I am able to give it here at school. All I ask is I do have paperwork, or the doctor can just fill out like a prescription and say that I have permission to give it in school, but I will need that. I will also need, it has to come in a prescription bottle marked with the correct, name, the dosage and whatnot of the child. Over-the-counter medicine, say your child gets an ear infection throughout the year and has to be on an antibiotic for a few days. That I can also give, if you can get the doctor's order, that would be preferred. But if not, just write me a note or even email, let me know the dosage and the time, and I can also do that. But you do need to provide the medicine for me. Okay. Non-prescriptive medicines, that's like Tylenol and things. Even if your child, a lot of parents, if they know their children get frequent headaches, frequent, stomach aches, they send in like Tylenol or Tums or anything like that. I can give it and keep it here, but once again, you need to send it in a marked bottle and include a note and whatnot from yourself and the doctor for that. Okay. Okay. Yes, I will. This is continuing with all the medication. I will keep it all in my office. I can't have a locked cupboard. We are not allowed to let the children carry the pills, although I've caught kids that do, but please do not send in any medicine in your child's lunchbox and say, here, Susie, at lunch, take this. If they do bring something in just for that day, have them drop it off at my office and I will see that they get it. And if your children have an inhaler, if you have an extra one, I can keep it with me, or, they can keep that in their book bag or whatnot. Okay, next. Okay, immunizations. This might be a little tricky this year. I'm not sure. We, prefer that they have them done when they come to school, but I know a lot of you are probably not even able to get into doctors. But, if the new ruling is within 5 days of school starting, they need to have their shots, or at least if you can provide me, say you have an appointment coming in November, if you can provide me with that's our only way that we will let them come to school. We, really have to, you've had time and, unless there's circumstances you can't get in the doctor, just give me a call, or get a note from him and, we'll work from that. But these are just a list of all the shots that they need. And when you were at kindergarten registration last year and in the mail, you should have received, a list with what your child, if they are missing. I will be going over these shots, the first week or so of school, hopefully. And, I will be in contact with you if your child does need anything. Okay. This is just kind of repeating what I said. They have 5 days. We do offer screenings in the school. Every year your child will get a height and a weight. They will get their vision checked all the way through school. Hearing we just do from kindergarten to 3rd grade. We don't necessarily redo all of them in kindergarten unless they had missed the registration and they didn't get them. As we told you at screening, they do need a dental and a physical exam sometime throughout their kindergarten year. They don't have to have that to start, but during the school year, you can send that in to me if you need papers. I believe you can get the forms online, or I have them in my office. You can just send your child in or leave me a call and I will send one home with your child. Okay. This is just a copy of the dental. That's what the form will look like that your doctor or your dentist, will fill out. And I think next we have the physical form. So, if you have them done, and you can send those in with your child in an envelope addressed to the nurse and I'll get them. Okay, food allergies. This seems to be growing more and more every year. I mean, when I started this job, I might have had a couple in a school. Now it seems like I have 2 or 3 in every grade at least. So if your child has any type of a food allergy, a insect allergy, please let me know. Either call me or at least write it on that card. I do go through all those cards and I make a list of all of them. If your child has an EpiPen or Benadryl or anything, you need to provide that with me. I do have some forms in my office about the protocol. Here at this school, because we do have several kids with allergies, especially to peanut, we do, all the teachers recommend that, like for snacks and things, that parents send in peanut-free treats. And even if your child does not have an allergy, please try to refrain from sending in like peanut crackers or peanut butter crackers or something, because the child sitting next to them, they have the allergy. Also at lunch here, I do have peanut-free tables or allergy, even if it's milk or whatever. And, the first couple of days of school, I go up there and I can show the kids where to sit. It just is our way of identifying your children and keeping them safe here while at school. You do not have to, take advantage of it, but I highly recommend it, because you walk in that cafeteria and when you have all these children in here, it's impossible to see who has what, but at least then everyone in the cafeteria knows that those children sitting at those table, to keep an extra eye on and to keep the peanuts and the milks and things away from that table to prevent any kind of complications. Okay, when to keep my children home? Well, this year is going to be a lot different than other years. We've always had the fever-free without medicine for 24 hours standard, but this year I think the temperature the magic number is going to be 99.5 from what I understand. So, your child, if it's anything, if it's 99.6, 99.5, you need to keep them home and until it's below that. Yeah, that's without medicine. They cannot have the Tylenol and have it go down. It has to be fever-free without medicine for 24 hours. And I urge you all to please follow that, because, it's just being fair, and with everything going on, we need to try to keep everyone as safe as possible. And your children better than we know your child. So, the obvious, if your child's vomiting, if they have diarrhea, pink eye, lice, then to keep your child home. But if they just wake up and they say, Mommy, I just don't feel right, I'm achy, they're kind of teary-eyed, please, keep them home. And I think this year we have an advantage because they can do the online if they're home, so they really won't miss anything. So, I urge you all to please keep your children home. Okay, what to send in from my perspective. First of all, any medicine, prescription or over the counter. And every year I ask kindergarten teachers, or parents especially, please send in extra clothes. I guess they can keep them in their book bag. They can come in back and forth, but you would not believe the spills. Your children may not have had any type of bathroom accident, but with everything, them learning the new schedules and things, it happens. It's, just bound to happen. If you have the extra clothes, it doesn't seem to happen, but it always happens to the children who do not have the extra clothes in their backpack. So please, if you don't mind, just put a set in there that way. Especially, I do have things in my closet, but I don't really know, how that all is going to work this year, if I'm going to be allowed to take donations or not. So if you would send your own children's clothes in, it would be greatly appreciated. Also, say your child needs a nebulizer or we have a diabetic, we need you to supply the medical supplies. We do not keep that stuff here. I can give nebulizer treatments, but I do not have the medicine or the machine here. So, we're here to work with you, but you do need to supply those things. And lastly, like I said, keep your phone numbers current and up to date. That is most important, because when you have a 5-year-old child crying their eyes out, wanting mommy or daddy, and you can't reach anyone, they do not understand, coming from me, why I'm not sending them home. They just think I'm this mean person who's like holding them hostage here. So please, make sure you keep your numbers current and up to date. Okay, that's it for me.
Mrs. Haas, can you please speak about attendance.
Okay, can you guys hear me? My name is Stephanie Haas. I'm a school social worker at Economy. I also go to the middle school a few days a week. Basically, I have a unique position with the school. I work with kids in a variety of ways, through attendance monitoring mainly, but then I also work with kids in social groups too. If a kid's in a crisis, we meet, talk, figure out what's going on, and I usually will call home. So those numbers are very important. If something's going on at the home that you feel your child might need some extra help with, please don't hesitate to call us. We are more than happy to help provide you with resources for different things. We will support your child so they can do their best academically and within the school community. If you or your child are looking for more support for mental health, resources, food banks, housing, we can help with that. So please don't, please contact us. The main office always knows where I'm at. Your teachers can find me too. Another part of my job is running social groups, like I said. Students enter with an IEP. So I know a lot of kindergarten students don't have that, but as time goes on, you might get that. And it's a related service, much like a child would receive speech and language services. In these groups, we learn everything from friendship to eye contact and character education. That's just like a little bit of what I do in the building. This year is going to be different with distance learning, but the big part of the reason we do this is not, so with the attendance, it is a state law that we have to monitor the attendance and to attend school. And research shows that missing 2 days a month negatively affects students' academic performance. From what I understand with the distance learning, we are going to be taking attendance when the students are in school. And I do understand if students are not doing what they're supposed to be doing on the computer, we're going to be reaching out, having meetings, and trying to get you guys the help you need to get in school. And this is just interesting. By 6th grade, a student who is chronically absent is more likely to drop out of high school. And these are habits you've learned very early in kindergarten. So you guys are starting kindergarten, and I know it's a weird type of thing, but you have to go to school. And I know a lot of you guys are here and listening. And guys, do what mom says, dad says with the distance learning at home and at school, because it will help you when you're older. So that's a big part of my job, is just to meet with parents and kids about that. Okay, so if a child is tardy, they must report to the office when they do get to school, so we don't mark you absent for the whole day. Once a child enters kindergarten, their attendance is being monitored. Excessive tardies could result in accumulated unexcused absences. If your child is absent, you will receive a call that day from our automatic system. And again, if there's problems, please reach out, let us know what's going on. You will also get a letters. From what I understand, we're still going to be doing attendance letters. If you are missing days, the days that you're scheduled here, we will be sending out attendance letters. 3rd and 6th unexcused days, you'd be getting letters. If your child has more than 6 unexcused days, they'll be asked to come to like a meeting, probably virtual, but we'll or at least have a phone call from me and the group, just seeing what we can do to help you do better on the computer, what's going on if there's problems. If you accumulate over the year 10 unexcused absences, the school potentially, before the distance learning, we would file truancy. But before that, you would get a lot of phone calls and information prior to that, because I understand with distance learning, we're flexible and we are understanding of the situation, but then we also still need the students in school. And I think you all understand that. And all this can be avoided, however, if you simply hand in notes when your child misses school, or email it to the office or let the teachers know what's going on. You're allowed 10 parent notes for the school year. After this, you must present a doctor's note, just so we know. And I think with this whole distance learning, there's some, you have to keep them home. I'm sure a doctor would write that with the what's going on right now. Best practice, turn in excuses, including medical notes, as soon as the child returns to school. And basically what I want you to take from my time here is the most important part of this entire presentation is for you to understand that it is just communicate with the school. We want to help. Just let us know what's going on. And we're here for you and your child, especially in this very difficult time with the distance learning and the partial school, partial online. And then my email is shaase@ambridge.k.12.pa.us. And then we have a social work on the website section, and it's all about resources and different things that I think you'll find very helpful. And my extension at the building is 6261. So that is my presentation. Mrs. Cosky.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
All right, Mrs. Kennedy has some comments.
How do I click back to me?
Yeah, you're there. Okay. Hi, everybody. I just wanted to touch on two other things. So you know, our school year is going to begin August 31st. So in the near future, probably within the next week, you're going to get 2 letters from the school. One letter is going to be about your bus information. That'll come from Roads, and it'll say what bus number and the time of the pickups. And then you will be getting a second letter that'll be from the 3 of us, the kindergarten teachers. And inside that letter, it'll have a bus tag. So it'll have your child's name on it. It'll have who their teacher is. And we're going to color code it so that your child, like, we can look at their tag and easily identify whose room they're coming to. And on there, it'll have the bus number that they're supposed to ride. You typically will get the information before we do. So if you could please, whenever you get that letter, just put down the bus number that we are supposed to send your child home on, and all the other information will be filled out. So if you could take that, it'll be like a postcard type thing. If you could please take that and attach it to your child's backpack with like a zip tie or whatever you want to use, and just leave it on your child's backpack. And then this way, it'll also serve as like an emergency card for them, and it will help the bus driver and help us to make sure that your child is safely where they need to be. Okay, so, and I think with that, then we are ready for questions. So you can either raise your hand, or you can email questions and we will try to answer them as best that we can. There is a raise your hand button that's down at the bottom of the screen. Anybody that has a question, if you press that, then we'll know to call on you and try and answer your question for you.
I don't see a raise your hand button.
It is actually, if you see it should have your camera turn off or on, your mute button. There should be looks like a little hand. And if not, you can just hit the conversation button and type in your question.
There's 3 dots on the toolbar. So if you're on an iPad or phone, if you hit those 3 dots, there should be an option there for you too.
Well, I don't see it, but I do have a question. Oh, wait. Okay, I see it now.
All right. One of the first questions is, can you provide an example of an appropriate toy to send for recess? Something that I've seen the kids bring in, sometimes the girls might bring in a Barbie or little dolls of some kind. The boys might bring in little cars, Matchbox, little dinosaurs, like something that you can fit in a backpack. It's not breakable within reason, nothing expensive. We prefer things that are not technology related, you know, no phones, no iPads of their own, just simple toys that the kids can play with that will just give them an opportunity to have some playtime, you know, be creative, things like that. The next question, if a child is sick, hold on a second here. My phone just flipped. Okay, if a child is sick and that is their day for in-school learning, can they do remote learning instead of missing the day? Absolutely. Absolutely. This will give an opportunity for kids to not miss out on instruction on any given day. So I know last year we had quite a few children out, whether, you know, for any particular reason. It was obviously up until COVID, it's still a kind of rough winter for kids getting sick and viruses. And I had some children that were missing a week or two at a time. This is a perfect opportunity to not miss anything. So please, you know, join in remotely. If they will be getting picked up or need to take another bus to a sitter, how will we communicate that? Right now, I would have to double check with Mrs. Galitzis because we had a difficult time with the decision about bus passes and children riding other buses due to having children more exposure. You know, right now we're going to have to check with Mrs. Galitzis, but we will get back to that question when we have an answer for you.
Here's a question.
Go ahead. Wait.
Hello?
Okay, you were muted.
Oh, okay, let's try this again. I didn't realize I was muted for these questions. So my next question is saying, will their headphones need to have a mute button on the headphones themselves, or can mute be done in the iPad application being used? No, you do not need to get headphones that have a mute button. There is a mute button on all of the iPads. And the next question, are face shields in addition to masks or can be in place of? That is totally up to the parent. So however you feel comfortable sending your child to school is your discretion. So you can use the face shield only, you can use the mask only, you can do both if you so choose. There will be extra masks in each of the classrooms. So if a mask breaks during the day, we do have extra ones that we will be giving your child. Okay, the next question. What about the schedule for children doing 5 days of online learning? Will they be expected to be on their iPad all day or just during specific times? We are still in the process of finalizing all of that. However, we are going to try as best we can to keep them engaged while we are in school, but we also realize that that is a very long time to try and keep a 5-year-old through the whole day. So we are going to be working on and off with your child throughout the day. And again, we're going to just try and keep them engaged as much as we can, but understanding that we do know that you're not going to be able for a total of 6 hours, keep them online the entire time. So we will be sending an email out to all of the parents that will let them know what time exactly we will want them on in the morning, what time we will be doing language arts, what time we will be doing math. And, you know, we could keep it open. So if they have any questions throughout the day, we'll be able to help them. And again, you know, we're going to try and keep them on as much as possible, but we will give you specific times so that you will know when for sure you need to be on. Yes, and we're trying to balance everything out, which is an adjustment for all of us. So it's a learning process. So we will have kids in the classroom while we're doing that. So if we can't answer your question right away, we're going to try and get to it as soon as we can, but just understanding that we'll also have some kids in the classroom that we'll be having to teach as well. Which devices should the headphones be adapted to? Just an iPad. So as long as the headphone could fit into the iPad that you'll be getting, that's fine. You don't need it to fit into anything else other than the iPad. Okay. Okay, so here's the next question. Where do I drop off my child and pick up if I decide to drive? So if you come to our building, it is on the principal link that will tell you exactly where you need to do the pickup. Is it the kindergarten entrance? Okay. So if you are familiar with the building and you have children who already came through here, it's going to be the same routine as using the kindergarten entrance. So it's not the main office that you'll be bringing them to and dropping them off. It is the one on the side of the building next to the small playground. There are doors there, and there are always adults that are watching at all times. And that is where you will be picking them up and dropping them off like we have every other year. Yeah. Yes, and please, if you're picking them up or if you're dropping them off, please don't leave until their temperature gets checked. Okay, so can you confirm the start date again? I thought it was supposed to be August the 19th. Originally, it was supposed to be August the 19th. There was a school board meeting last night, and at that time, the school board decided to change the start date to August the 31st.
Can I address a couple?
Sure.
Okay. There was a question about, can we keep the baggies of supplies in their desk with their other stuff rather than transporting it back and forth? The initial bag of supplies, the ones that we listed out for the entire year, that bag stays home. Since your child will be home 3 days a week, or some of you are having your child do remote learning 5 days a week, obviously, those bigger bag of supplies can stay home. The bag that is just what they need for the day, that is what we need back and forth. So it'll be, 2 pencils, a glue stick, just very minimal things. That's the only thing that's going to transport back and forth. The big list of supplies can stay at home. And the purpose behind this is that last year when we were all, caught off guard about having the state order to go home and remain there for 2 weeks. And as you saw, we never returned. It became an issue of parents needing supplies to do things with their children at home, and those supplies were at school. And then it took, 4 months to get their things back. So just to be proactive, the school district wanted the kids to be able to have their, what would be equivalent to their pencil box, traveling with them back and forth. So, that's why we recommended the zip pencil bag, because it's a little bit thinner than a pencil box, and it should be able to hold the minimum with just one small box of crayons, pencils, your glue stick, your scissors. We're just going to keep it light so that they can bring it back and forth. The hand sanitizer and the tissue box will remain in their desk. They will be the only ones using what they bring. And the thought is that usually parents won't be upset leaving a tissue box behind, but most parents want their child's school supplies, so that's why they did it that way. Breakfast. Children will be eating in the classroom breakfast. They will get to go to the cafeteria. It's a grab. Oh, it's a cart. It's a cart. My fault. So they'll come to the classroom. They'll get it off the cart in the classroom, eat in the classroom. And if your child is riding a bus, they will definitely have time to eat breakfast. We wait until all of the kids are in, they all have a chance to eat, and then we start the day. So please do not worry. They'll have an opportunity to get breakfast if your child rides the bus and needs to get breakfast here. Teachers will be wearing masks or shields. We are leaning towards the shields so that the children can see our faces. I know I can't speak for every teacher. Some may prefer to wear the masks. I personally find it easier for the children when you're giving directions and showing them how to sound things out, that they can see your mouth. We teach a grade where, we're teaching them sounds and things like that. And, it's important to see tongue placement and how your mouth should look making the sounds. And I agree, the parent that sent in the question, I would love for them to be able to see us smile as well. So I understand your concern.
Okay, so a couple more that I found. If your child is doing full virtual, do we still need all the school supplies on the list? No, if you're doing all virtual, you will not need all the school supplies on the list. However, we are trying to work out some things so that your child can still participate as much as possible in the things that we're doing. So we're in the process right now of trying to figure out, we would like to get your child, we have manipulatives that we use that we'll be putting into individual pouches for each student. So they'll have their own pouch of manipulatives to use all year long. We're trying to figure out a way to get that to all of the parents who are going to be doing virtual the whole year, so that they also will have the same materials that the students will be using in the classrooms. Will iPads be labeled so there's no mix-up? Yes, from what we were told, all the iPads already have your child's name on it, and so there shouldn't be any mixed up with the iPads. Will virtual days have the same schedule? Yes. The schedule will be the same no matter if you are full remote, if you are doing the hybrid and remote, or if you're in the classroom. Everybody will be using the same schedule. Yes. Next question. Will the iPad chargers need to be sent in on in-school learning days? We really don't have plugs that would be right next to all the desks. So we really do need you to have your iPads charged whenever you are coming to school. We do not want them to bring the charger. Please leave the charger at home. Yeah.
Okay, the next question we have is, will the kids be sharing desks? The answer is no. Right now, usually kindergarten has tables. We're in the process of removing the tables and giving each child an individual desk, and they will be separated 6 feet apart. We're not permitted to let the kids leave items at school that I think we had already addressed that due to some of the issues in case we would have to shut down. We're not 100% sure how special classes will be working yet virtually. We'll send that information in our email next week. The kids will not be wearing masks all day unless that is your choice. If they are not wearing a mask, they must have a face shield. Yes, if your child wants to wear a face shield or you send your child in a face shield, they'll have that on all day. If you choose a mask and no face shield, they'll have their mask on all day. If you choose for them to wear both, they can always have mask breaks because they do already have the face shield. As of right now, there was a question about additional supplies needed for home. Our plan is to have the supplies you would need for any activities at home in your child's folder from the day before. We're still working out some of the logistics on how to do the virtual learning successfully and not having you need to purchase anything extra than what we had already suggested. I'm not sure about wearing masks during physical education. Do they need? We're not sure on that question yet. Again, some of these things we're still working out. Oh, yes, I'm sorry. The answer is yes. But we are still working out all the bugs and how to be successful to make everybody comfortable and safe for the return to school. I'm sorry, we're answering things together.
When I answered earlier about the teachers and the masks and shields, I believe that we were permitted to pick, but I don't want to speak out of turn. We will be wearing face coverings, whether it's a mask or a shield or both. I don't want anyone to think that we won't be, protecting your child and protecting ourselves. We'll just need more clarification on that. But in the beginning, I believe that we were permitted to pick between the shield and the mask, but I'll get clarification for that. So, we will be protecting your child.
Just to clarify a little bit about special classes, all specials will be in the classroom. So we'll make it work, but just so you know, your child really will only be leaving the classroom for lunch. Other than that, they will remain in the classroom. As Mrs. Kenny mentioned earlier, all kindergarten classrooms have a restroom and a sink in the room. Actually, we have 2 sinks. So we're able to wash hands and use the restroom whenever we need to.
Okay, someone asked about before school care. Is it available? And as of right now, we don't have anything, but because they're still trying to find staffing for that. So the best answer I could say as of right now, no, but hopefully maybe things will change and they'll be able to find staffing to do that. Will someone help the kids get to their classroom on the first day of school? Yes. All of the teachers, all of the specials, they'll be in different places to be able to direct the students as to where to go. And that's why we stressed again, the postcards, the bus tags that the kindergarten teachers will be sending home to you, they will be color coded. So very easily be able to see what teacher your child has. So if you could please make sure to attach that to the outside of the backpack, that will help your child and help us to get them to the right place right away. Again, somebody's asking about sharing desks. No, nobody will be sharing any desks. Everybody will have their own desk in the room. So even if they are not here that day, that desk will remain empty. There will be enough desks for everybody. So if I have 20 students total, I will have 20 desks. Typically right now we're looking at having about no more than 12 students, no more than 13 students in a classroom at a time. So we'll make sure that they are 6 feet apart and no one is sharing any desks, any supplies. We're keeping them in the room and like Mrs. Cosky said, the only time they'll be leaving the room is whenever they go to lunch. Where or when can we drop off the supplies for the classroom? We typically, in the past, we have always said you could bring them ahead of time. However, with the uncertainty of all the circumstances, we are saying you're going to have to bring them on the first day of school, or you can bring them a little bit at a time after the first day of school. If it's too heavy for them, then please make sure you just bring a little bit at a time for them. Let's see. How will the school be doing speech classes? Speech classes will be in the speech room. So the speech teacher will come and get your child and then bring them over to the speech room. For kindergarten, the speech room for us, luckily, is directly across the hall. So they will only be walking across the hall to go to the speech room. Okay, will we be getting a bus schedule? Yes. Within next week, they're finalizing the bus schedules right now, along with the letter to go with it. Next week, you should be receiving the bus information in a separate letter.
Virtual days, will they be specific screen time for the children, parents be able to access in the evening? We're still working on it.
Okay, here's a very good question that we are still trying to, we're working on this to try and see what would be the best for everybody. The question is, will they have to be on the screen at a specific time, or will children with working parents be able to access during evening hours? Again, we're trying to figure this out as best we can. We understand that especially with kindergarten, there is going to be a need for parent involvement to be next to them or to try and help them, especially at the very beginning. So we're going to try and do everything we can to help accommodate all of the parents as best we can. But that is something that we're still working on. Okay, here's a good question about planning ahead. If a few parents plan to get together on virtual days, would that work with the programs they'll be doing at home, or is it more individualized? We are all doing the same thing as far as what we are going to be teaching, what apps we're going to be using. Everybody's going to be using Seesaw. We're trying to keep this as uniform as possible. So we will be, again, we'll be doing the same thing in class that your child will be doing virtually.
Okay, someone had asked, is there a plan in place if a student should test positive or has been in contact with someone who has tested positive? If they're showing no symptoms, should we still send them to school or should we quarantine? Certainly, if your child has been potentially exposed to anyone that has tested positive, has been around somebody who's tested positive, we strongly suggest to quarantine, do the online learning. If a child it comes down ill here, we do have a separate place, a separate room for them to go to quarantine away from the rest of the children until we figure out exactly what is going on with them. You know, it could be an illness that isn't.
Please let the school know.
And certainly, if you think that your child has been exposed to someone who has tested positive, please notify the school as well. You know, this is one of those circumstances that we're in now where, you know, we all need to protect each other as well as our own children. And being open and honest and making sure we're all informed is going to be the best way that we can protect everyone's children. So if your child came to school and you didn't find out until after the school day that they had been exposed to someone maybe the day before or over the weekend that tested positive, please let us know so that, you know, we can take appropriate precautions and do as we need to do. If your child is being driven to and from school, yes, we need to be aware of that. In the past, we've had parents who have chose to have their child be a permanent car pickup. So if you would prefer that your child be driven to school and then picked up and driven home, please let us know that, and then it'll be an understanding with your child's teacher that they will always be a pickup and a drop off. So please let us know.
Okay, someone had a question about the water bottle. Does the water bottle have to be in a clear container? Can the second water bottle be stainless steel to keep cold for the second half of the day? Absolutely. So if for kindergarten especially, the clear water bottles pertain more to the high school so that they can actually see what's in the water bottles. We know with kindergarten, everything will be fine. So yes, it doesn't have to be a clear water bottle. You could do the stainless steel so that it stays cold for them. Is there going to be a dress code for remote learning? I mean, you're going to want to wear whatever you would wear to school. You're going to want to wear at home, a shirt and pants or shorts or a skirt or whatever it is that you want to wear. So everybody will have access to see everybody else. So please don't keep them in their pajamas unless we have a special pajama day. Okay, will we be given access codes in order to get into programs like Seesaw ahead of time? Yes, that'll also be sent out. Along with that, we already found a video that is very useful and helpful, and it will go through Seesaw, explain how it works. So yeah, we already have that all set up and in place. We just need to send that out to everybody as soon as the attendance is finalized and rosters and all of that stuff. Is there a preference on headphones versus earbuds? I would try it out on your child and see if the earbuds stay in, because many times we found they buy the earbuds and then depending on your child's ears, they may not be able to stay in. Sometimes children prefer the headphones. Sometimes they like the earbuds. It doesn't matter to us which one you buy, just as long as it can stay on your child's ears and they're comfortable with it and they like it. Let's see. For those not scheduled to be at school on a Monday, what will their first day look like? We are trying to do something special for each day, both the first day for each of the hybrid students that are coming in. So for the first day of school, you'll still have the remote that we'll be doing, but we are going to try and do something special for both days that they come. Yes. Okay. So a good question. Somebody asked about attendance. Attendance will be taken daily. So we will give the people who are remote a start time, and you will be asked to please log on at that time so that we can take attendance. They are keeping track of attendance daily. Again, if you are somebody who are working during the day and you're going to have to try and work with your child in the evening, that's something we're still working out. So we're going to try and address that as soon as we get all the information for that. But for each and every day, your child will be accounted for being and participating in school. A lot of this, we're still, we're kind of fine tuning it. So when we do send out the email, which again, please make sure that you send an email to whoever your teacher is. so that we have your email. That's going to be the best way for us to communicate with you at first until everybody really becomes familiar with Seesaw and knows exactly how to use it. We will be sending information next week that's going to have about the schedules, about how we're doing first day, about how everything is going to be working out. So it's really important that you please make sure that you send your email to us. And so again, it's on the PowerPoint, but mine for Mrs. Kennedy, mine is T Kennedy, and then everybody's is the same after that. It's tKennedy@ambridge.k12.pa.us. And then Mrs. Cosky would just be jcosky@ambridge.k12.pa.us. And then Mrs. Thomas would be cthomas@ambridge, and so forth. Okay, with the change in the start date, is there a change in it all now? Vacations and dates, you will be getting a new calendar. They will be updating it, sending everybody out a new calendar. That again will be forthcoming. Yeah, we talked about that. Okay, I'm really hoping that we did not skip over anybody's question. I know that 3 of us keep checking here to make sure that there isn't any that we left out. So we really apologize if we did. It's not intentional. Okay, so I think then that about wraps it up. We thank you so much for being here today. Again, we're going to try to do everything to make this as pleasant for the parents as much as it is for the students. This is all a learning experience for all of us, but I think if we work together, this will be a really successful year, and we're really, we're going to do everything so that your child is not only prepared, but also enjoys coming to school, enjoys being at school, and will be ready for first grade. All right, well, thank you very much for coming. And,
Thank you.
all right. Have a good day. Wait. Hang up. How do I turn the camera off?
Well, and then mute it.